Greetings to Sir Izaha and Sir Han. I'm Joyce Won, and today I would like to present about my final year project 2 with the title The Relationship Between Selected Compensation Factor and Job Retention with Employee Engagement as Moderator. Now I will start with Chapter 1, Background of Study. The motivation of an employee to engage and retain for serving in the company mostly come from the reasonable compensation in both financial and non-financial that have given by the organization. Some of the organization imbalance in provide financial and non-financial compensation to their employees. This situation will cause the employee feel unfair and job engagement decrease, which they will be unwilling to continue put in effort in the company and want to leave the company. Therefore, this research is about employee engagement as a potential moderator in the connection between selected compensation factor and job retention to stimulate the relationship. Problem statement. There are from three aspects, which are empirical gap, theoretical gap, and practical gap. First, empirical gap. The previous research is not clear enough to show the relationship between selected compensation factors and job retention with employee engagement as moderator. Next, theoretical gap. In previous research have various theory or model that have been used in similar phenomenon, which may lead to theoretical conflict. It will confuse the reader to determine which one is most accurate. Practical gap. It can inspire new research in this direction for providing more data or knowledge on this research. The general objective for this study is to identify the relationship between selected compensation factors and job retention with employee engagement as moderator. Specific objective, there are four. First, to identify the relationship between financial compensation and job retention. Second, to identify the relationship between non-financial compensation and job retention. Third, to identify the relationship between financial compensation and job retention with employee engagement as moderator. Fourth, to identify the relationship between non-financial compensation and job retention with employee engagement as moderator. Research hypotheses for this study have four. First, there is a significant relationship between financial compensation and job retention. Second, there is a significant relationship between non-financial compensation and job retention. Third, there is a significant relationship between financial compensation and job retention with employee engagement as moderator. Fourth, there is a significant relationship between non-financial compensation and job retention with employee engagement as moderator. The figure below is conceptual framework, which illustrates the variable required for survey. The left side shows independent variable, which is selected compensation factors with its sub-variable, financial compensation and non-financial compensation. The right side shows dependent variable, which is job retention. The element between the independent variable and dependent variable is moderator, which is employee engagement. Chapter 2, Literature Review. The past study had revealed that employee engagement came from the feeling that they got proper compensation about what they have did for the company. Salary can be the primary incentive that cause the employee engagement increase and think over to continuously serve in the company. Bonus able to encourage employee to increase the productivity and have high job involvement in the company to continue retain and engage in the company. Commission serve as integral tools to attract and retain employee. The model and theory that I have applied in this study are March and Simon theory, reinforcement theory, equity theory, Ginger model, employee retention connections model, and Deloitte model. Chapter 3. This study is using quantitative research method. The questionnaire is created to collect the data, and the correlational research design is applied to interpret the data. The population for this study is 39 employees of Subotiasa Holdings Berhad at Sibu Sarawak in Finance Department. The sample size is 36 employees from them, and the sampling method used is simple random sampling. Data collection technique. First, apply letter from the faculty. Second, asking approval from the respondent. Third, distribute the questionnaires. And lastly, collect and analyze the data. Next, data analysis procedure. SPSS is using to analyze the data collected. Descriptive statistics is used to analyze the demographic of respondents. Pearson correlation coefficient is using to measure the hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2. Multiple regression is using to analyze the hypothesis 3 and hypothesis 4. Research instrument for this study is questionnaire is set in Google Form to collect data. Likert 4-point scale is applied in questionnaire. 1 is represent strongly disagree, 2 disagree, 3 agree, and 4 strongly agree. There have 5 sections in the questionnaire. Section A is demography, Section B is financial compensation, Section C non-financial compensation, Section D job retention, Section E employee engagement. 2 of the table below is the reliability result for pilot test and actual test. Based on the result, the validity and reliability of the result on each question for both pilot test and actual test are excellent, as the Cronbach-Alva value show that they have more than 0.9. Chapter 4 is main finding. The section A is about demography. First is gender, as we can see that all of the respondents for this study is female. Next, age. There are 22 respondents who are between 31 to 40 years old, 11 respondents are between 21 to 30 years old, and 3 respondents are between 41 years old to 50 years old. For the rest, there are 16 respondents are Chinese, 8 respondents Malay, 7 respondents Bidayu, and 5 respondents Iban. Next, education level. 17 respondents qualified at diploma level, followed by 12 respondents qualified at bachelor degree level, and the rest 7 respondents are qualified at STPM level. Year of working experience. 36 respondents have between 6 to 10 years working experience. 9 respondents have between 1 to 5 year working experience, while only 1 respondent have more than 10 years working experience. Descriptive statistic is also using to analyze the data from Section B to Section E. Section B is financial compensation. Based on the mean shows that the item with the highest score for financial compensation is I will change my job in favor of a higher pay. Section C is non-financial compensation. The mean shows that the item with the highest score for non-financial compensation is the benefits offered are enough to compensate me for my job. Section D is job retention. The mean shows that the item with the highest score for job retention is my retention in the organization influenced by the higher pay offered. The last section is employee engagement. The mean shows that the highest score for this section is manager communicate the goals of the organization. After running the Pearson correlation, the alternative hypothesis 1 is accepted. The result revealed that financial compensation have strong positive correlation with job retention. Because from the result, we can see that the p-value is 0.0, which is lower than 0.05 level of significance. And also the Pearson correlation 1 represent total positive correlation. For the alternative hypothesis 2 is also accepted after running the Pearson correlation. The result revealed that non-financial compensation have strong positive correlation with job retention, because we can see that the result shows p-value is 0.0, which was lower than 0.05 level of significance. And the Pearson correlation 1 is also represent total positive correlation. After running the multiple regression, the third alternative hypothesis for this study is rejected. It is because the significant F change value is 0.621, which is more than 0.0005. So it shows that employee engagement is not a moderating factor in the relationship between financial compensation and job retention. So it is rejected. The fourth alternative hypothesis for this result is also rejected because after running the multiple regression, the result shows that significant F change value is 0.044, which is more than 0.0005, and it shows that employee engagement is not a moderating factor in the relationship between non-financial compensation and job retention. Now is discussed about Chapter 5, which is going into conclusion. So the implications of research findings is improving the level of compensation in the firm, provide good benefit and pay should be also reflect the job and designation the person holds. Employee retention strategy and employee engagement activity should be given the most importance and should change according to the needs and demands of employees. Competitive benefits and compensation which fits the needs of the employees should be provided. Recommendation for future researcher. The first is test experimentally or quantitatively on this study to have further more detailed information. Second is focus on determining what factors or items have the most or least influence the job retention and employee engagement. That's all from me, and thank you for your attention. Wish you have a nice day.